Hello, Vlogtober day 27. Um, oh, I just realized I might have woken up my roommates. But, besides that, actually, I think, no, one should be in class right now, and the other one, I think, is at work. Um, yeah, I'm in the middle of working on papers right now. I just realized absolutely how easy my lit review for my capstone is going to be. I got all the sources last night, just pulled them up on tabs, and am going through them now, and it's like, I knew all this already. So just write what I know and find it in the sources. My capstone is on essentially how anonymity lowers inhibitions, specifically on the internet. Um, this is apparent a lot in cyberbullying because really without identifiable information leading to you besides, well, obviously the IP address, you really don't care what you write online. One study actually specifically showed that up to one-third of British students had noticed quote-unquote nasty comments on the internet. Really, if you're just a username, and you can make any username, you don't even have to use your normal one. Like, well, Ktar or Shima17 for me. I could use anything. I can use any picture. It doesn't really change anything. Nobody has to see my face. Nobody has to see who I am. So I can do literally whatever I want on the internet. The only thing I have to fear is if I do something illegal or something that hurts somebody, then there's possible retribution due to tracking my IP address, stuff like that. But really, losing that fear makes people do just about whatever they want. There were a lot of studies in the 70s specifically showing how disinhibition and lack of group involvement, as well as maybe over-group involvement, such as in the mob complex. You know, after a major football game, there was actually a huge mob that formed in the street like a block away from me. I can't remember what game it was. It was this last fall. I didn't live at this place then. But they had to call in police to break it up because a huge mob formed in the streets. Like, once that started, people really aren't afraid to join in because they lack their personal identity. They're part of a group. They're part of the essential crowd. Such as, what is it? Like, Black Friday is a very good example for that. You're rushing. You want to get your Uber sale item. You don't care. You run in, people die every year. I know in Wisconsin, was it last year, the year before, somebody got trampled to death. And this is a regular occurrence. It's the mob complex. If you don't have to face retribution for your actions, you're going to run in there and do whatever you want. This is increasingly easy on the internet, as I mentioned, specifically because of, well, you don't have to show your face. You don't really have to fear being arrested. And otherwise, my other paper, which I really hate my other paper that I was working on last night. I was working on my British Lit from the 19th century paper. We're supposed to be focusing on binaries. Binaries are pretty much oppositions, like light and dark, good and evil, rich and poor. I chose rich and poor, and focused on the class system in Victorian England, and essentially the class consciousness and how one can't survive without the other. Seeing as monetary amounts mentioned then don't really mean much today, I had to focus on living conditions more than anything, and priorities between people. The poor were more concerned about working and being able to have jobs, while the rich were more concerned about their luxuries. There's one character who's dying of typhoid fever, and I spent probably half the page describing his living conditions and how that was quite typical for poor people of that day. They had to sell their houses and essentially get an apartment in a cellar. With the way sanitation was then, people, just threw their filth into the streets. So, like, they had a back room and they couldn't even live in it. It wasn't paved, it wasn't anything, it was a giant slab of mud. They specified that a human, nor a pig, could survive in that for many a day or something. Basically, it was such horrid conditions that nobody could live there. yet they were being charged more for having that extra room. And, like, instead of a window in that room, there was a grate. So a lot of the filth from the streets ended up flowing in, and it was really unsanitary. Then people lost their jobs due to, this was from a novel called Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. I should have it somewhere around here. Notice all the little things sticking out. Those were all for quotes and pulling up stuff because I was supposed to integrate a lot of quotes into it. Well, it's a literary analysis, of course I have to do that. Otherwise, I was using the Norton Anthology of English Literature. I should have another volume of that around here somewhere. I think this is this is the Romantic era. I've also got the Victorian era somewhere around here, which is volume E. Then, here it is. And then, where's the other book I had to use? There's an author called Jonathan Culler who focuses on literary theory. Jonathan Culler, Literary Theory, a very short introduction. And I focused on his Marxist standpoint of, because I had to use like sources from all these books and stuff. He focused on Marxist standpoint of cultural studies. Basically, we only really notice the grandeur of society, such as in Rome. What do we remember of Rome? We remember the Colosseum, we remember all the gladiator battles, we remember the riches, we remember the good things, but we don't really see the poverty that happens. We don't see how people die of plague and famine. And that's essentially the Marxist standpoint. Like, we only see part of it, so we wind up justifying things because we wind up becoming essentially a consumer, he stated. I didn't really make sense of the word consumer, but what was it? As a consumer, we justify social workings. So I had to end up drawing on that theory, and that was 5 pages of utter hell. Like, I feel the paper is so disconnected, yet I don't know how to word it better. I'm not used to literary analysis. This isn't my major, isn't my minor, it's my fun course. And this is, by far, I think, the hardest paper I've ever had to write. And then, well, I'm sick, so my mind's a little stuffy. And nose. I have NyQuil and DayQuil. It's amazing. Otherwise, it's 9:30. I've got a work meeting at noon. It's essential. You know, this is what you guys are doing good. This is what you guys are doing bad. You need to work on this a little bit. Oh, by the way, now let's open the forum and everyone starts stabbing each other in the backs. Yeah. I'm put on the night shift side. I'm a day shift side cook. There's 2 possible reasons for this. The owner actually remembered my school schedule down to the hours, or he wanted to keep me away from my direct manager because her and I would go back and forth and probably both lose our jobs due to Pele stops clawing apart my computer case. Since her and I don't get along very well, and we'd go on for quite a while, and I'm assuming on the day side, nobody's going to say anything against her. On the night side, nobody's going to say anything against her. Since on the day side, everyone's sort of afraid to speak out against her because they know that she's going to try getting them to quit. She's done that with quite a few people before, so nobody's going to say jack against her, which is further going to justify in her mind that she's right and she's always been right. So it's sort of a lose-lose situation. Otherwise, oh geez, I'm at 9 minutes already. This is a long video. Long for me. I normally have them at 4, 5 minutes, maybe 6. But, and I really hope this one is synced up. My last one didn't sync up very well, apparently. Thanks, Brian, for noticing that. I'll try re-uploading it and see if that works. Well, I'll try re-uploading it after today's hell day. I've got to finish this paper and then one more, and we have a 10-minute limit on videos on YouTube. So, love you guys. Bye.